Well, folks, it's time for some more roster news. It's time to talk about MiBR's new Brazilian roster. MiBR, a team that many of you probably know and have heard of, a team that, under other monikers such as SK and LG, have picked up major championships. Their in-game leader Fallen now with Liquid, their former star player Coldzera now with FaZe, Taco, Fur now with going their separate ways. Let's look at the new Brazilian roster, though. Here for MiBR, they've signed 4 from Boom, a team which had done great things in the Brazilian South American circuit. A team consisting of former LG players Yell, Bolts, Cello, and SHZ, I believe played for Luminosity at one point in time as well. It's a team that does have some potential. What their potential will be on the international stage, though, I am yet to find out. And I don't really want to speculate on that all too much. They also added Danoko, who used to play for Bravos, and he also stepped in for Sharks when Leo Drunky was on loan with MiBR. Danoko, though, I don't know too much about him as a player. I've never watched him play that I can remember, so I don't want to make any comments about somebody that I've actually never watched play the game, so I don't want to either sound too harsh or too generous with anything. But yeah, Boom just confirmed the departure of their team, and then MiBR picked them up. So this is also going to give this roster the ability to go into the international scene, something they weren't getting with Boom. This is a team that I think could be a solid top 30 squad if they put their minds to it, and we'll see what they actually do. And Phelps was the one player who's not going to MiBR. And it looks like he's going to be going along with Taco and Barton and Dumao. Wow. Hold on. This is part of the article here. Taco, Lato, Barton, and Dumao reportedly in advanced talks with Godsend. So they would have Phelps on that roster as well. Godsend just had said they're looking to transfer their roster. I just saw that pop up on HLTV. So, potentially, this roster goes to Godsend. And then we have Furia, MiBR, Godsend, all international Brazilian teams. That could be really good for the squad. And then Team 1, too, also making it into ESL Pro League. With what roster they will fight, it remains to be seen, especially losing Barton to this dead project. So, not dead as in, like, dead team, but dead as in the coach. Dead. I wonder where K&G is going to go, too, because K&G is now no longer with MiBR. TRK is now on the bench, and Lucas and Henny going to rejoin as Henny steps down from Furia, too. We'll see where they all end up. But here's some more news. MiBR's new squad is heading to Europe, where it will be beginning to prepare for their first tournaments of the year, CS Summit 7. They were an invited team to the CS Summit tournament, all online. All these teams are also based in the EU. So that is where they will all be centered. That is where they will all be positioned in playing. Of course, you have the EU natives like Heroic, OG, Mouse, VP, FaZe, Fnatic, Complexity, Nip, Dig. Then you have the NA or Brazilian squads like Furia, Cloud9, and MiBR. I mean, Cloud9 is technically a European squad too at this point, with Floppy being the one exception. Will they play with Woxic? That remains to be seen. I think Woxic being moved to the bench. Who will be on this Cloud9 roster? Will it be Woxic? Will it be somebody else? That's another thing to keep an eye out for on the CS Summit number 7. Complexity, it's pretty much a set lineup. Furia, I think they'll be playing with Toyota, a player they picked up to replace Junior. Or is it Honda? I don't remember. It's one of the two car names, and I saw too many memes about it, and now my brain is scrambled. But Furia do have a stand-in for Junior, who was not able to make it to Europe for these tournaments yet. So they will be playing with another player in his place. But if we go back to MiBR, it's going to be a good test for them. I think there's some teams... Oh yeah, Fnatic's also going to have their debut with Jaquinho. Brazilian named Swedish player right there. It's going to be a good test for MiBR, though, especially depending on how the groups are going to be set. Doesn't look like there are brackets for it yet. But I think a team that they could test their mettle against well is Dignitas, maybe NIP or Cloud9 too. I think Fnatic might be a little bit of a difficult test phase. I think these teams in the top 15 probably going to be a little difficult for the MiBR squad, but these three here next to them could be a team they could go toe-to-toe with and maybe pick up a map or two or maybe even a series. So we'll see what the MiBR squad is going to be capable of. Oh, that's a nice little... So you can see all the players there. The more you know. And if we look over at this team, we can see the different players all lined up, the four from Boom and then Danoko. I'm actually going to look a little more into Danoko here because I want to see a little bit more about this player. Let's see. Teams he played for INTZ Academy and then for Bravos. See how we did on Sharks here. That is not the best performance. Against 9Z. See against Bravos, his former team. Danoko again towards the bottom, but this time a little more even. Against SWS. Danoko down towards the bottom again. It doesn't look like he's a very high fragger. I'm wondering what his role on the team is. I'm very curious about that now. Because just looking at the stats don't tell the whole story. I don't know what kind of a player he is, what he does on the team, what his role is, whether or not he is a support player, whether or not he plays the terrible positions that nobody wants to play, so his teammates can have the best spots possible. If it's just he wasn't comfortable on Sharks, whatever the case may be, let's not jump to conclusions here. I want to know what kind of player he is. I guess we'll find out during a CS Summit, which starts on the 25th. So 7 days from, what is up with my math? I believe it's just about 12 days. I don't know anymore. Don't quote me on days anymore. It's been a long day for me as well. Yeah, we see this full on lineup. They're adding Knock, former player. Now an old head, and he's going to join as a quote-unquote strategic coach. What that entails, I don't know. Maybe he will be along the lines of an analyst. Because you already have a coach in Apoka. You have the Boom coach too. Will you have an analyst, or is he going to help out with some of the finer details of things? This is another thing that remains to be seen. So, we'll see how it all goes down. We'll see what this team is actually capable of. It will be a good test, again, this European competition. There's a lot of good teams here. You got Heroic, Furia, OG, Maus, Complexity, FaZe, VP, Fnatic with the new lineup. It's going to be, I think, a big test for these four. NIP, Cloud9, Dig, and MiBR. How they will do, we'll see. MiBR, again, that team that I feel has a chance to be a solid top 30 team, but will they realize their potential is a better story? It's a good test for them coming straight into the international circuit. They should have some time to adapt. Have a few days to adapt, get some scrims in and start playing against their new competition. But a good move for these players, Bolts, Yell, Cello, SHZ, and Danoko. Let's see how they do on the international stage. And folks, if you have enjoyed the video, please do drop a like and subscribe if you are new. Subs are free and they really help me out a lot. As well as drop a comment down below what you think about this new MiBR lineup. So folks, if you have enjoyed, again, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching, and peace out.